Hey guys, today we're reviewing my Mitsubishi EVO 7. So it's the 27th of December, Christmas is come and gone, and to try and stop me from eating everything in the house because I'm now on a diet, I decided to come out for a drive, and what better thing to do than do a bit of a review on the EVO. To be fair, this is probably the best car you'd want to go out in this wetty, cold, damp weather, so let's go have some fun, eh? So for those that have been following the channel, you'll know that my EVO's had a few bits and bobs done. It's had a new clutch put in, which is very aggressive, very aggressive. We've only done 55 miles since having the new clutch put in, so we're still bedding her in now. So yeah, that's not doing any hard launches just yet. We've had new springs, OEM springs. There was a lot of rubbing going on with the new 19-inch baller wheels that I've got on, so to eliminate all that, I've just put the standard springs back on. Apart from that, it's just had a good service and just needs to be driven like an EVO should be driven. So let's get one thing completely clear and out there. I love EVOs. I've always loved EVOs ever since, well, before even the Fast and Furious franchise come out, it was always, you were either a Subaru Impreza or a Mitsubishi EVO, and for me, I was always the EVO guy. So back when I was in high school in 2001, the EVO 7 was the car to have. That was Brian's EVO in Fast and Furious 2. That was the car to have. So it come to a point where, you know what, I need to own one of these cars. I need to experience one of these cars, and wow, for a car that's over 20 years old, this will worry a lot of new cars today. Not so much in the power, but the handling. You can see why there was such a weapon back in the day. So why do I have an EVO 7 and not an EVO 8? Again, the EVO 7 was the car to have. It was the car in Too Fast and Furious. It was always what I wanted. EVO 8s are really holding the money. They are worth a lot of money. I mean, to be fair, the EVO 7s are worth a lot of money, but the EVO 8s are just ridiculous, and there's that many different types of specs. This EVO 7 is the GSR 7. It's the 2-litre turbo, 276 claimed brake horsepower. It's not overly quick. Compared to the Astra would win. In a straight line, the Astra would pull away quite comfortably. But when it comes to the corners, very few cars will touch this, very few. So as far as modifications for this EVO, it's had very little done. It's got a HKS air filter and a Cobra catback exhaust. That's it. Everything else is rather standard. I've even got the standard wheels to go on if I ever come to sell it, but to be fair, I've had new Bora wheels, rotors I think they're called, with wrapped in the PS4 tyres, and well, it just made a car that was really good at handling a lot better at handling. So the EVO 7 had a 5-speed gearbox, and it's quite a common modification to put the EVO 8 6-speed gearbox in. To be honest, there's nothing wrong with this gearbox at all. I've raced my brother's RS, do you remember? And it was neck and neck to well over 100 mile an hour. For a car that's 20 years old against a Mark III RS, it's some going at all. So there's nothing wrong with how the engine is, how it performs, and you can see why just adding, say, 100 brake horsepower, why these were absolute weapons. And yes, you would be worried if you had a Lamborghini and this pulled up behind you. So like any car, the Evo has got a few things that aren't ideal. This being a Japanese import, the indicator stick is on the right hand side when every other car in the world is on the left hand side. It takes a bit of getting used to, especially when you're jumping into, I don't know, a Ford or a Vauxhall or all the other cars I've got. Then I'll jump into this and then I'll be putting the window wipers on every time I come to a roundabout. It's something that's very difficult to get your head round, but so that's one issue. The other issue is the really small fuel tank. I believe it's 45 litres, 44, 45 litres fuel tank, which the way you drive this doesn't get you very far at all, so we need to go get some fuel. So the best place to take the EVO 7 isn't on the motorway or any dual carriageway. It's A roads, B roads, country roads, roads where there's a lot of corners, a lot of A to B and as quick as you can. These are just fantastic. Whether there's mud on the road, the confidence this car gives you, you can just see why they're so damaging to other cars. I mean, it's like now country road, there's mud all over the road. It's not as much slipped anywhere. It's absolutely fantastic. I'll even go as far to say that this will destroy Raven in this kind of weather on A roads for fun, for absolute fun. So should you buy one? I did. I don't regret it at all. It's a great car. They're just, for A to B, racing around, doesn't matter what the weather is. This has been out in the snow for no reason apart from it's snowing and I've got an Evo. So yeah, I would get one. But at the minute, the JDM market is just, it seems to be that expensive to get anything Japanese, 90s, early 2000s, that it would be very difficult to get a car like this for under 15 grand. 350s, 370 Zs, they're worth a fortune at the minute. Skyline, Supras, anything. I like the Evo 5s and 6, but they're very boxy and they weren't the shape I wanted. I've always wanted a 7, 8, 9, that shape. The 10 has lost it for me, but again, that's another story. But I prefer the 7 just for the shape, and I don't know, I just always like the 7. The 8 seems to be fetching ridiculous money at the minute for not that much more car than what this is. I know the gearbox is slightly different and there's more specs where you can get the F-Cube specs and up to 400 brake horsepower, but it's the same engine, so I could quite happily modify, tune this. I've seen 700 brake horsepower Evos for fun, so they are very tunable anyway. So I would not warrant the money for that extra few brake horsepower when I can buy a 7, spend the money on it, and get a faster car anyway. So what do you think I should do to the Evo? Shall I keep it stock, or as stock as it is at the minute with OEM springs and you're just running the standard power we've got at the minute, or should I go and try and start tuning it and get another 200 brake horsepower and make it an absolute machine? Or shall I do an engine swap and put a V8 in it and upset everybody? Comment below. So something else I forgot to mention that I've done modification wise to the Evo, not a massive modification, but I've replaced all the brakes and the brake pads, which I pretty much do on every car I get. When I get a new car, I just like to replace discs and pads. So this has got yellow stuff pads all round, black diamond discs all round. It didn't have a problem stopping anyway, but now it's tightened everything up. Replaced all the rubber with stainless steel hoses, brake hoses. Again, you can't really notice that much of a difference, but if a pipe gets a bit of a hole in it, you notice rather quickly. So for me, the brakes are more important than any part of the car, so that's been messed with. So the very, very best thing about this car is, doesn't matter what the weather's like, you can just go out and have lots of fun. With the Camaro, I get me weather app out of luck. Oh, it's giving rain. You know what, I'm not going out. And that's how that car seems to get you. You only want to take it out in the dry weather. Whereas this, I wouldn't even look. If it was snowing, that's a bonus. It's just such an enjoyable car. There's no trying to throw you into the curb or trying to smash you up and kill you like every single other car I seem to own. But this is just, it's inspiring. It just gets you, the handling of it, it gives you confidence, like, yeah. So, quick one around the interior. It's very sort of small. For someone who's 6'4", 20 odd stone, it's very tight. You can tell it was designed for a smaller male or female. And everything's more compact and everything's tight. The seats grab you, and for a bigger bloke, headroom and everything else, it's not great. There is an adapter kit to lower the seats down by, I believe it's about 30-40 mil, which I have actually looked at, and I do think I'll be getting if I do keep the car, just to give me that little bit more room. But yeah, interior wise, everything's as is. It's just plasticky, which was very common for the time. But the one thing I like about the interior of this car is everything still works. A 20-year-old car, all the windows work, unlike the Astra. The air conditioning works, unlike the Astra. The actual cigarette socket still works, even though it's a proper cigarette socket, still works. So build quality compared to other manufacturers, yeah, Mitsubishi have got it right. This is a car that's had 60-odd thousand miles worth of abuse and everything. It's just lovely. So I would have taken more pictures and videos around the outside, but it's absolutely lamping it down, and I'm not getting any wetter than I am already. So this is where we'll have to just say, this is the review. Get an EVO. They're absolutely fantastic cars, and we'll take some more videos when it's drier. So as usual, like, subscribe, comment below, and I'll see you when we nitrous the Astra next week.